Hello and welcome to the TeamED Learning and Performance Journey, School Improvement Coach Training and Certification. Welcome aboard the journey. We're glad that you're here. My name is Deb Page, and I'll be your guide for your learning and performance journey. A little bit about my background. Like many of you, I'm a former high school teacher. I'm a former Senior Vice President in Human Resources, Training Development, Performance Improvement, and Leadership Development in corporate settings. I'm the past Senior Vice President of our state, Georgia's Leadership Institute, focused on school improvement. I'm President of the Institute for Performance Improvement. I'm co-author of the text that you'll be using throughout this journey, Facilitating Shared Success, the Practical Guide to Leading Collaborative School Improvement. It's available from Solution Tree. I'm also co-author of the first and second edition of the School Improvement Specialist Field Guide, which is also available from Amazon. You will need both of these books to support your coaching as we move through the journey. So welcome. Here's what this is all about. You're going to work to master your big rock. A big rock is something that is a complex challenge that requires collaboration. So we're going to be applying all our learning, our tools and processes directly to a common big rock. And in this case, that big rock is for us to effectively coach collaborative school improvement, innovation, and implementation. Those that you'll be working with will have their own big rocks around specific school improvement priorities. Together, though, we'll work on making sure that those that we guide have effective journeys in school improvement, that they're able to innovate, and whatever they come up with, they're able to implement it well and sustain it. You'll be able to apply directly and practically all your learning tools and processes directly to our Shared Big Rock Challenge and do it effectively. You'll be able to determine what you're going to do and avoid doing when coaching. And you're going to identify and demonstrate the types of high-value, durable skills needed for your success. And most importantly, you're going to have the opportunity to learn with and from your peers on this learning journey. Now, something that we've found through the years as we've done this is that people tell us that their highest value that they receive from this program is the ability to be able to learn with and from each other. It's the social learning that makes this valuable. It makes it fun and engaging, and it's something that is really the secret sauce, if you will. And we're going to show you also how you can use social learning with those that you coach to build their capacity and greatly enhance their outcomes. So we're going to share this big rock, which is making that change or further enhancing the school improvement process in the schools that we support. Especially given the many complex changes that are in education right now, this can look like a really hairy, big, hard, big rock. And so as you progress through the journey, you'll complete assignments that support your on-the-job application. As you coach others through this process, you'll be provided coaching yourself. You'll also plan and you'll self-direct your learning. You'll monitor your progress and you'll evaluate your strategies and results. And at the end, you'll have quite a bit you're going to be able to celebrate. Then you'll be able to earn the Certified School Improvement Coach credential. To do this, you must achieve a rating of proficient or higher on all of your assignments and in course participation. We'll share more as we move along the journey. Now, as a coach, this is what you'll be doing. You will be able to master and demonstrate proficiency in the 10 Certified School Improvement Specialist standards and coaching of the work of the standards in schools. Now, you'll find that each of the courses in the journey aligns to a Certified School Improvement Specialist standard, and it also aligns to a chapter, both in the text, Facilitating Shared Success, a Practical Guide to Leading School Improvement from Solution Tree, and the School Improvement Specialist Field Guide. So you're going to need to develop a plan with a schedule for coaching your schools through the work of the standards supported by that text. We'll help you with that. This allows you to pace the work and provide time for enough practice to meet the needs of those you coach and develop. We can never emphasize the importance of practice with coaching and feedback against clear criteria. Now, our process is that we're going to meet virtually live for 2 hours to 2.5 hours twice per month for training over 5 months. This will give you a chance to really pace through the flow of school improvement with your schools. You will have 24/7 access to the resources, peers, and coaching via the Promote platform, which we will be sharing with you following this session. And it is a digital platform where you'll have that immediate access, and you'll be able to connect with me, your instructor coach, whenever you need to. Twice monthly, we'll have a 1-hour group call for questions, peer-to-peer learning, and networking coaching support. And I'll make office hours available if you need one-on-one support. Your text, which we've mentioned, Facilitate Shared Success, the practical guide to leading collaborative school improvement. You will see that it provides you 3 important things. The first one is it gives you a solid practical framework for collaborative problem solving. And today, schools, school districts, and our community partners must work together to really address causes rather than surface level symptoms. So you'll see us focusing a lot about not jumping to solutions, but to really dig down together to understand what's going on, to understand what we can make happen, to innovate and make things better, and to improve the outcomes both for students, educators, and our communities. We will share with you proven processes for implementation of innovations and of improvements, and this requires more than just good ideas. It demands that we have disciplined execution, what we sometimes call getting the doing done, the iteration and adaptation that's needed as we learn and move forward together. And then it's going to give you scalability across contexts. For example, your big rock is really focusing on improving school improvement, if you will. But the big rocks that you may be supporting can be anything that is a challenge that requires collaboration, whether it's improving literacy rates, reducing absenteeism, really focusing with employers and community partners on fostering career pathways. Whatever the need is, whatever the big rocks, this book will equip you, along with our coaching, to tackle both your local and your system-wide or more systemic challenges. So what will the journey help you to do? Well, it's going to help you guide leadership teams. You may be a school leader or on the school leadership team, school improvement teams, and others through collaborative improvement. And of course, I've mentioned this also includes not just improvement, but innovation, and then what it takes to implement those improvement solutions and those innovations, using the guide to support your coaching for the big rocks that you're going to be helping people address. It helps you in the journey to set the pace for the work in the schools you coach. You choose that pace. The journey is going to help you work with leaders and stakeholders to implement a truly successful and sustainable school improvement and innovation process, your big rock, while you coach those that you are guiding to tackle their big rocks. And it's going to help you apply 3 things. The first is the discipline of human performance improvement. You'll be learning about that if you don't already know that well. The work of the 10 Certified School Improvement Specialist Standards, and the science of adult learning and performance, because all improvement is going to move at the pace and speed of our learning. Well, what about our outcomes for those big, daunting, big rocks? Well, through the journey, educators, through you, will gain support, resources, and the collaborative problem-solving structures and tools that will enhance their effectiveness. And this helps reduce educator burnout. It reduces starting and stopping and stalls in the work that you are trying to move forward to improve your outcomes, to innovate new ways of doing things. And it will help you create a culture of continuous learning and professional growth, or enhance the good culture that you have. Students will experience more engaging and personalized learning environments. And of course, that's going to support their success in their learning, their career, and their lives. Employers and communities can benefit from being a part of this improvement and innovation process by collaborating with your schools and with the community to ensure that they have a future-ready workforce and that citizens are equipped with the durable skills that we find employers are really seeking today, like critical thinking, collaboration, adaptability, problem solving. And what you will find is that what you want your students to be able to know and be able to do to have and demonstrate those skills are the very same skills that you and those that you are guiding will need to turn to and demonstrate through their collaborative improvement innovation process. Everybody will benefit from embracing growth mindsets that allow them to be resilient and to be hopeful about the future, and to put the opportunity, the empowerment in their hands and their heads to be able to make the changes that they know that need to be made, that will make them as educators more effective, our students and our communities. And you will guide them transforming those big, hairy, big rocks into what we know can be called celebratory cairns. Now, if you're a hiker or trails person, you probably know what a cairn is. And this is where rocks have been shaped into, they may be mile markers, they may be other ways of marking trails, they're ways of celebrating things like victories and that sort of thing. So these are some opportunities for you to really embrace bringing the team together to be able to transform their big rocks into something that they really are proud to have to look back on and to point the way for others. The certified school improvement standards, specialist standards, are in the guide, and they're in your introduction, and you see them listed here. If you look at the first 5 of analyze and apply critical judgment, then facilitate others in deriving meaning engagement from their analysis, focus on systemic factors so that you can find the right sets of solutions, plan and record, and then organize and manage efforts and resources. That's pretty straightforward. Now, this isn't a linear process. You revisit these at any time. But of course, these are opportunities for you to be able to look at this as a process. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, we like to call the superpowers. That's the ability to guide and focus collaborative improvement. Number 7 is what our research has shown is the most important job of a coach or a school leader, which is to build capacity, the ability to demonstrate organizational sensitivity, especially working across diverse groups, monitor adoption, and implement for sustainability. So these are the standards. They reflect each of the courses, they reflect each of the chapters and the work that you'll be doing to earn your certification. Now, looking at those standards, I'd like you to think about it. If these are the standards for how successful facilitators of improvement have guided people to apply the proven processes and tools that we'll be sharing, then what you're going to do is, this is your first assignment in Promote. So you'll go in, and I'll have a subsequent video coming up showing you how to get into Promote and do all you need to do, is to reflect and apply on the 10 standards. The first question I'll ask you to reflect and post and promote is, how did the standards resonate with you with how you think, your mental model about how school improvement and innovation is performed? Which of the 10 standards reflect your strengths, and which provide opportunities for you and others for growth? So what you can do now is you can pause, take some time, jot down your answers to this, and you'll be ready to post them and Promote to complete your first assignment. We all know that education is really facing a lot of complex changes and challenges right now, but the structured approach that we're giving you will help diverse teams navigate through that complexity. It helps build shared ownerships and co-creation of solutions and innovations that ultimately will create schools, transform schools that not only educate, but empower our students and our educators and our communities to thrive in our rapidly evolving world. The time for fragmented efforts is over. The future school improvement lies in what really has always been the way that it works best, is collective action, strategic innovation, and really disciplined execution, meaning getting the doing done. And your role is to coach educators in this critical work, and we're here to support you. So this brings you to your next reflection and Promote. And this is thinking about your education context. I'll ask you to think about, what challenges do you see in the current context of your school system, and your community that impact school improvement and innovation? And we'll take a deeper dive as we go forward into these external factors. but you may see internal ones here as well. What opportunities and strengths give you hope and the ability to be a resilient coach for those you're going to guide through the process of improvement, and to collaborate and to succeed and to be able to celebrate and feel good about what they're accomplishing, reduce burnout, and help everyone have shared success. So let's get started. You're going to complete 3 steps as you prepare to start the school improvement process or coaching it. And so before you begin the steps, make sure that you have spoken with your supervisor or supervisors or whoever your vested stakeholder is and you coaching this work. And there are 3 things that you're going to do with their support. First thing is going to be is to look at what school improvement teams do you have or other types of teams, and to either revisit those and look at the membership of those, making sure you have the right people there. I'll give you some questions to help you think about that. Or it may mean that you may be forming teams for the first time, or you may be really tweaking some mature teams, or you may be seeking to scale the teams that you have deeper and broader across your school or stakeholders. Then you'll begin to facilitate your teams to agree on a shared purpose for each team, and then guide your teams to select their big rocks. And remember, that can be very many different types of things. This process works for any type of challenge or opportunity that your school is seeking to succeed at. So informing or revisiting teams are 6 steps. And so, as I said, you'll review the current team structure and the level of engagement, like what percentage of your faculty, staff, leaders, key stakeholders are engaged in the collaborative school improvement process. And then work with your supervisor vested stakeholders, or maybe even that lead school improvement team, to clarify the purpose of engaging people. And that aim is to foster ownership, build trust, and collaboration. Everything that you do is going to be built on your trust, your credibility, and your relationship. So we're going to work through this, especially in courses 1 and 8, about how you make sure you maintain those foundations for success. By building capacity rather than directing people to do things, and that together you will emphasize that effective engagement means that the participants that are engaged feel valued, empowered, and supported in collaborating and shaping solutions or coming up with new innovations. Then together you're going to identify the key participants. As I said, you may have some very mature school improvement teams you may be forming, but you really need to make sure that your school has at least one key school improvement team that includes leaders and the right representation of faculty and staff and perhaps external stakeholders. And that as you scale these teams across the schools, that you're going back and checking this membership and working towards the highest degree of participation and engagement that you can achieve. So for now, you're going to collaboratively check or identify that diverse key team of individuals who will be with you in guiding this process. And they need to be people who are respected for their credibility and their work ethic. They need to be representative of different roles and perspectives within the school and perhaps the community. And they need to be able to influence and inform improvement efforts. And we'll work, especially in course 2 and in course 6, on looking at that power of influence and how it can work on behalf of you and the teams to support your shared success. Then we're going to determine the key indicators of progress. You're going to agree on 2 to 3 indicators with that core team. And they may be things like increased stakeholder participation and attendance in collaboration sessions. It might be that feedback indicates that people who are collaborating are clear in their roles and feel valued in giving input or participating. Or you may be looking for observable evidence of shared decision-making and action. So those are the things that you're going to say with your core team that will be with you in coaching this process. These are going to be the key indicators of progress. Maybe these, maybe other things that you choose, but it's getting about 3 to 5 of those down so you guys can know what success looks like that you're working toward. Then step 6 is to set up 1 or 2 scheduled check-ins to reflect on engagement effectiveness, adjust your strategies, and make sure that your goal or indicator of progress, if you will, remains relevant and inclusive of all the diverse perspectives and experience that you'll need for this process. So this brings you up to your third reflection in the introduction and promote. And we ask you to answer these questions. What did you notice about the dynamics of conversation with that team when you were purposely shifting from directing improvement efforts to facilitating collaboration or deepening that level of engagement and collaboration? How confident are you that the engagement goal that you set reflects both the needs of the school and truly values shared ownership and co-creation? Why or why not? In what ways did the process of co-creating those goals or those target indicators, if you will, help surface insights about your current culture of collaboration and trust? Did you feel, if any, challenges or tension when you were working to define who should be included or what those measures of success would be, what success looks like? And how do you plan to support ongoing reflection and adjustment of those engagement targets or goals as the work progresses? So this is a time that you can pause, make some notes on this, and later transfer those into promote. Next, your role is to coach that team to agree on a shared purpose. You're going to meet with the team or teams, and you may find it helpful if your supervisors or other vested stakeholders kick off the session and explain the engagement goal and the focus on now why the focus is on collaborative improvement, on innovating together, and being able to implement successfully whatever you choose to do. You'll introduce the guide and how it will be used to guide and support the work of the teams. And then you can use figure 1.2 right there in the guide. It has questions for you to ask to guide the conversation about shared purpose. That's something you're going to love, love, love about your guide. It is your playbook. It's right there for you to turn to. It's loaded with many, many great tools, figures, prompts, questions, aids to guide you and those you are coaching through the work. And then it's important that you record and summarize these main points as they work to agree on their shared purpose. And something to think about is we're focusing on achieving collaboration. Collaboration is different from working together. Collaboration requires setting and achieving shared goals. So starting out with a shared purpose and defining priorities are going to be things that help you get more and more clear on moving from connecting to truly collaborating and being able to be successful. So this is your fourth quick reflection there in promote. I'm going to ask you to post a summary of those notes from your session on having shared goals, priorities, needs, that type of thing. What did you learn that will inform your practice as you did this process? And what, if any, actions do you need to take? Someone you might need to involve? What's next for you as you move the team along this journey? Just post that right in promote, and I'll be giving you feedback. So we mentioned that this is based in the discipline of human performance improvement principles and practices. And human performance improvement, when applied in the school context, is a systematic approach to identifying and closing gaps between where you are, your current level of performance for your big rocks, and where you want to be by growing the individual teams and organizations' effectiveness through giving them targeted support, building and growing them, and guiding them through process improvement. And so this takes the shape of an acronym, RSVPS. And these were defined, these principles, by the International Society of Performance Improvement. R stands for focus on results. Just like we said, this is what success is going to look like for that team, then everything we do is going to be focused on premeditated, predetermined results and agreeing what that looks like, how it's measured. The next is to take a systemic approach. We talked about not just looking at surface things that are symptoms or quickly jumping to solutions, but instead it's really doing systemic analysis, looking broad and deep and including the right people so that we make sure that we do not fall in the pitfall that often the school improvement process is of just being compliance, writing up a quick plan, putting a quick SMART goals, and then waiting to see how it happens. No, this is a systemic approach that looks at really getting at some of the causes, the drivers, and particularly some of those that we can't change. As much of the complexity we're facing is something we can't maybe do much about, but how that we might take an approach to mitigating or out innovating some of those challenges. The next is to always add value. You as the coach, your teams, always add value to the organization and to each other and to our students and communities. Work in partnership with each other. Work in partnership with your students. Work in partnerships with your leadership team. Work in partnerships with maybe your feeder schools. Work in partnerships with your community and industry, community organizations, nonprofits, your workforce and economic development entities. Work in partnership for shared success. And then last of all, which is will help you do, apply a systematic process. You're going to have support, you're going to have your guide, you're going to have coaching and development to follow a systematic process that works even when things are very complex and daunting. So you'll see that figure 1.3 in your guide is the RSVPS success tool and tactics. So we're going to ask you to use this tool to facilitate those you coach to reflect on the current school improvement process, snapping on that RSVPS lens. And so just like I've shared the acronym and what it means to you, it will be your role with those you coach to share it with them and record their answers to how right now your school improvement process is alike or different from each of those important elements of the RSVPS success tool and tactic. This gives you another opportunity to reflect and apply. In Promote, what you'll do is you will reflect and post there, how is the school improvement process of the school you will coach in alignment with the RSVPS? Focus on results, take a systemic look, add value, work in partnerships, and use a systematic process. How is it currently different? You may have some of these things down, some you may need to enhance. You may be doing a great job on all of them. So this is just a lens. You'll be getting a lot of those that you can always snap a filter to put on your work to take a deeper look at it and to guide conversation and action. So you can pause, make that reflection, and then later you'll be able to iterate and promote. So the third thing you'll be doing is helping your team select their big rocks. And there is an idea hub in the introduction to guide the conversation with the teams to choose the priority or priorities, the big rock or big rocks they want to focus on using the guide with your coaching. Now, sometimes I see people across teams that maybe different people have different, like maybe somebody's got a literacy and somebody's got a numeracy, or you have different teams, like you'll have a literacy and numeracy team and a numeracy team. You might have a deeper learning team. And it's important that the people that are in those teams are people who have the background experience or willingness to be developed to prioritize and work on those big rocks. Coach the team to really focus on their complex challenges that require collaboration and help move them from focusing on a symptom rather than what's causing that and what can be done. And you're not looking for solutions yet, but you're just looking to make sure you're really saying this is the big rock that we need to focus on. It's not just a symptom of something. We're not going to start flinging solutions at it, but we're going to say, like this issue on attendance or engagement, that's our big rock that we're going to be focused on. Now, notice that that big rock happens every time I go through this course series. I'll tell people, and it usually happens, is your big rock or the big rocks of those that you were guiding. Our big rock is going to stay the same as we focus on our craft of collaborative school improvement, innovation, and better implementation. But with those you're working, they may start out in something that's engagement inside. We're going to work on just the aspect of engaging learning, or we're going to work on just the aspect of reducing absences and tardiness, through our particular strategies that we're going to use. And these might change. You might went on down to a priority pebble that really matters, and that is completely okay. So what you will do is you will record their choices, and they will record their choices. And again, these can shift or change. It's okay. This is just starting priorities to focus upon. So you're not surprised then that your reflection 1.6 is to go into promote and to list the tentative big rocks that those that you're working with have chosen as they begin their journey that you're coaching them through. And to reflect on how confident are you that they represent the real complex challenges that require collaboration rather than symptoms of what maybe are the real big rocks or deeper or systemic issues. So take a minute, pause here, take some notes, and then you can post those directly in Promote. So here's your final assignment. What you'll be doing is finish reading through the introduction to your guide. Summarize the messages that you feel like you're getting from the guide. What are you reading, hearing, thinking? How is this resonating with you? And this is always, how does this match your mental model? Do you look at it and go, hey, this is really how I think about things, or this is a little different. Oh, we're a little bit farther ahead on some of these things. Oh, we've got a ways to go. But how is this notion of collaborative, process-based, supportive people to systematically move through the process with lots of support from you, from the guide, and from each other? What concerns do you have? Near the end of the introduction, we have listed a number of the pitfalls that our research show can and do occur in the school improvement process. So take a look at those, see if you see symptoms of those or those happening anywhere in the school that you're coaching or the group that you're coaching. And make sure that you can jot those down there, so these will be things for you to focus on. And then most importantly, what gives you hope? What are you excited about as you begin to guide others through this process of collaborative improvement and really getting the work done well? So you can pause, you can take your notes, and later post and promote. Now, here's a final success tool for you. It's figure 1.5 there in your guide. You can use figure 1.5 to plan and support the next steps of your work. You complete it. Be sure you have all the introduction assignments in Promote completed by our first live virtual session. And this will be aligned to Chapter 1, our first session. Make sure you have read Chapter 1 in advance. And I will share with you the most frequent tip from past participants: do not get behind. Each chapter, each assignment, each session builds on the next. So if you get behind, it's going to be harder for you and maybe more frustrating for you than it would normally ever have to be. Making sure that you're helping put one, like building that cairn, you're putting one layer upon the layer upon the layer to get to your success. And maybe it's important to remember to record, to jot down the initial thinking you have as you read through Chapter 1. So you'll be ready. Focus on those idea hubs and those success tools and tactics that you're going to be using in your coaching, and then come ready to discuss Chapter 1, your thoughts, what resonated. Now, you can always reach out to me. If you reach out, you will see here is my email address. Here is my phone number, so you can call or text me. And then know that I'm going to be reading each of those assignments that you're doing in Promote, and I will be responding. However, if you have any questions, you need my support, all you have to do is send me a message in support, or sometimes when you make a post, If there's something that you want to discuss with me, ask questions about, need a little bit more support to answer your questions, just simply put it there and I'll get right back with you. So we're ready to start the live part of our learning and performance journey. It's going to be so much fun. People tell us the best part is learning with and from each other. And the most frequent comment we get is people say to us, why have I never had this development in these tools sooner? So if you're in the role of coaching this work, you're there because someone knows that you are highly competent and effective in what you do, likely that you know the work of skill improvement well. And here's something about being that expert, is that whenever you're an expert, and I've been working in instructional design and performance improvement for a very long time. I work with experts, subject matter experts frequently. And as an expert, when you begin to think about your craft, and especially thinking about it in a real systematized way, it can begin to hurt your head because it's like making your burn tingle a little bit because you've been doing this on autopilot through your expertise and your formal learning, your on-the-job learning for a very long time. And so what this will be doing is it will be making your brain tingle when you think about how you do things. And I love it when we go through this, and sometimes people say, Deb, my brain's really tingling because I've been doing this a long time. It's really making me think hard. And that's okay. That's when learning occurs. When you feel that little bit of brain pain, that's when you're really getting real clarity and focus on your craft. So that's a good thing. And then as you advance, I had someone tell me the other day that when they went through this experience, that it was transformative in their career. Some people call it their career capstone. And so as your coach and as your instructor, I am truly committed to you going through this journey. I've done it with hundreds of other people, and I really look forward to making you and supporting you to be highly successful. No, I'm here for you, and as you get to know me, you're going to realize that I may be kind of like that trainer at the gym that, you set your goals and I help you make them, and sometimes you feel the burn a little. But this is the muscle that might be burning a little, might be your brain as you begin to really think through, really making your craft clear and helping other people do the same. I'm so excited about this learning and performance journey. Just reach out to if you need me. Thank you so much. Goodbye.